The series opens by introducing Alexis, a quiet but skilled fighter living in a rough neighborhood. He's seen training alone in an empty rooftop, showcasing signs of discipline and skills but also isolation. While Alexis was training, Alexis finds a strange black hoodie with a cobra logo on it, mysterious and powerful in design. Feeling drawn to it, he stops training and walks to his room and did some research about the hoodie. He later found out that the hoodie belongs to a famous Netflix movie called Cobra Kai. He then starts getting vision and seems to put out the vision. He then walks out and decides to hide the hoodie on his closet. Later we see Alexis walking downstairs and using his phone, slowly building a reputation as someone you don't mess with. But we later found out that a new character named Kaiser, and his connection to Alexis will become much deeper than anyone expects. The first episode ends with Alexis looking into his phone with the karate gi on, unsure if something is changing. A few days later, Kaiser is introduced as a mysterious fighter. He once owned the original Cobra hoodie that Alexis now wears. In this episode, Kaiser is sleeping when he suddenly got vision of his friend Alexis hiding his own hoodie. The hoodie meant everything to him, it was part of who he was. Now, Alexis wears it like a trophy. We will later find out how or what Alexis did to his friend Kaiser for Kaiser to turn against him. The episode follows Kaiser's hunt to find Alexis and take back what was his. He wakes up and gets ready to go to his friend Alexis' house. He quickly gets there thanks with the help of his bike. While Kaiser was busy finding his hoodie, we then see some guy who broke into Kaiser's house and planned to steal something. While Kaiser was busy, he suddenly heard a door opens and he quickly hides behind the door. Kaiser was lucky that Alexis' brother did find him. The kid later walks downstairs not knowing his older brother enemy was inside. Later Kaiser comes out and quick he heads down and escaped the house with his bike. He likes to, threatens others, and gets into small fights trying to track Alexis down. Meanwhile, Alexis doesn't know who Kaiser is today. Later the morning, Kaiser walks and gets a call from his mom saying when he will be back home, but Kaiser didn't answer. He simply just hang up, and later he just notices and learns Alexis's location, and plans to confront him soon. But for now, Kaiser walks home and watches on the TV. The episode begins with Alexis walking alone through a quiet part of the city. It's early in the day, and he's already training, throwing sharp punches, moving like someone with something to prove. You can see in his eyes that something is bothering him. He's not just fighting air, he's battling memories. As he finishes up his solo training and takes a slow walk, he crosses paths with someone, Kaiser. The tension in the air is heavy. They don't speak, no greetings, just one long stare. Alexis' expression changes. He tightens his fists slowly, his breathing steadying, like he already knows this fight is going to happen. Kaiser strikes first, kicking toward Alexis without hesitation. Alexis blocks it, and the fight begins immediately. They throw punches, kicks, blocks, no wasted movement, no holding back. Both are strong, fast, and trained. The fight doesn't stay in one spot, it spreads into open spaces, alleys, walls. It's raw and relentless. As the sun sets, they're still fighting. By nightfall, the fight has turned brutal. Alexis is slowing down. He's still pushing forward, but his strength is fading. Kaiser, on the other hand, looks more aggressive than ever. Then, with one sudden strike, Kaiser lands a powerful blow, dropping Alexis to the ground. Alexis doesn't get up. Kaiser, breathing heavily, stands there looking down at him. He then reaches down, grabs his old hoodie from Alexis, and puts it back on, claiming it like it was never gone. Without a word, Kaiser turns and runs off into the night, disappearing into the shadows. The next morning, Alexis is seen alone, sitting in the same place where he was defeated. He looks hurt, not just physically, but mentally. He's quiet, his fists bloody, and the guilt in his eyes is loud. Then, from a short distance, Kaiser appears again, now wearing the hoodie. He looks different, more confident, almost proud. He walks slowly up to Alexis and shoves him hard. Alexis stumbles, slowly stands, and finally throws a punch right at Kaiser's face. A second round breaks out, more emotional and explosive than the first. But this time, even though Alexis fights back harder, the damage from the night before is still in his body. He fights through the pain, but his strength is low. Kaiser controls most of the fight, but Alexis refuses to fall easily. He endures, counters, and eventually, after a final struggle, barely manages to knock Kaiser down, winning the second round, but barely standing himself. As Kaiser lies down and Alexis breathes heavy, we see a broken friendship that turned into something else. Quiet rivalry, a war of emotions, fists, and memories. Alexis walks away again, not proud, not victorious, just breathing, just existing. The episode ends with Kaiser running off, angry and shocked by his loss. Later that night, Kaiser arrives at his house and calls his two closest friends. When they arrive, Kaiser tells them about the fights with Alexis and asks them to help him take Alexis down. But his friends refuse. They warn him that Alexis is no longer the same person. They say he's changed, and that fighting him again will only lead to something darker. Kaiser doesn't listen. Fueled by pride and frustration, he lashes out and tells them he'll do it alone. They leave him behind. Kaiser is left sitting alone in his room, staring at the hoodie, now realizing that even though he won one fight, he may have started a war.
Soon in the daylight, with Kaiser sitting silently in a lonely alleyway, wearing a plain white t-shirt. His expression is calm but unreadable. After a few seconds, he suddenly stands and walks off in a hurry, as if a decision has just been made. This marks the start of something building inside him. The scene then shifts to nighttime. We see Kaiser alone on Alexis's rooftop, training rigorously. His punches are sharp, his kicks aggressive. He throws each strike with frustration, trying to sharpen himself for something big. The rooftop setting adds intensity, showing Kaiser's determination and isolation. Next, the episode introduces us to a new face. Parker Keene, a mysterious new student. It's daytime again, and Parker is seen walking outside a school along with another character, Alexander. There's a quiet but observant vibe about him. The next shot transitions to Parker resting at home, sitting on a couch, scrolling through his phone in silence. He looks focused, like he's waiting for something. Suddenly, the scene cuts to Kaiser, walking alone into an empty street. This seems to trigger something in Parker. He immediately gets up from the couch and walks slowly to his gate. As he steps outside, he dramatically removes his hoodie, as if he's stepping into something serious. Then we jump to a mysterious unknown location, where Kaiser and Parker come face to face for the first time. They briefly talk, both guarded, both sizing each other up. It's clear they recognize something in each other. With few words, they shake hands, forming a quick alliance. Without delay, they walk away together. A bond has begun. The following scene shows Parker training alone in the day, moving with incredible speed and precision. His high kicks, rapid punches, and smooth dashes show off his skills. Unknown to him, Kaiser is watching from behind a truck, hidden in the shadows. Kaiser then pulls out a Cobra Fight t-shirt and walks toward Parker, calling his name. Parker pauses. Kaiser approaches and asks Parker for a favor. He tells him about Alexis, the person he calls his enemy. Without hesitation, Parker agrees to help. They walk off together slowly, the Cobra Fight t-shirt now in Parker's hands, symbolizing his recruitment. Next, we see the two training together. Kaiser tries his best to keep up, dodging and defending, but Parker clearly dominates, showing that he's on another level. Parker defeats him in their sparring, but the training pushes Kaiser further mentally and physically. The scene cuts to a quiet, eerie daytime shot of Kaiser's bedroom. The room is colored dark red, giving it a haunting atmosphere. Kaiser is asleep, but his body twitches. He's clearly disturbed. Then, in his dream, he wakes up to see a black figure wearing a white mask standing over him. The masked figure speaks softly and cryptically to Kaiser, then savagely beats him, leaving Kaiser unconscious in the dream world. Kaiser wakes up again, this time in a white, empty void. He looks at his hands in confusion, only to hear a voice call to him. As he turns, he sees that the masked figure is now wearing a green hoodie. When Kaiser asks, "What did you do to me?" the figure responds with chilling calmness, "I made you into what you always wanted." Enraged, Kaiser lunges and punches the masked figure, knocking him down. Fueled by fury, he beats the figure to the ground, grabs a wooden pipe, and violently strikes him again and again. After a final blow, Kaiser drops the weapon and walks away without looking back. Suddenly, we're thrown into a red and black flashing space, a surreal and intense scene. Kaiser stands with his back to the camera. Slowly, he turns his head toward the viewer, his face twisted in a disturbed smile. He brings a finger to his lips and whispers, "To be quiet," followed by a creepy laugh. The sound of police sirens blare in the distance as Kaiser walks off screen, then picks up immediately after Kaiser disappears into the darkness. As silence falls, the camera slowly pans back to the lifeless masked figure lying on the ground, bloody, unmoving. The figure stirs, dragging itself up weak but very much alive. Its voice is raspy, filled with rage. As long as the host of the mask still breathes, "I live. I will have my revenge." Then, like a shadow, the figure vanishes into the night. Cut to the interior of Alexis's house. Everything is calm, too calm. The hallway is empty until the front door creaks slightly open. Kaiser, now dressed in black, silently enters. His eyes scan every corner with predator-like focus. He stops at the inner door that leads into the main part of the house. He stares at the handle. For a long moment, he doesn't move. Then he opens it, slowly steps into the kitchen and begins searching, looking for something sharp. His breathing is heavy but controlled. After opening several drawers and cabinets, his eyes catch sight of the stairs leading up. Without a word, Kaiser rushes up the stairs, still quiet, a knife now hidden in his hand. He reaches Alexis's bedroom door, but just as he places his hand on the knob, he hears a small noise from a nearby room. It's the bedroom of Alexis's little brother. Curious and cautious, Kaiser slowly opens that door instead. The light flicks on. Inside, he finds someone unexpected. A friend of Alexis sitting up from the bed, startled. Their eyes meet. Fear spreads across the boy's face. He immediately panics. "Leave me alone." But it's too late. Kaiser's face twists with rage. His breathing changes. Then he charges. The boy lets out a short scream, but Kaiser tackles him, pinning him to the bed. In a fury, Kaiser stabs him repeatedly, silent and vicious. Once the body stops twitching, he drags the corpse to a hidden storage room, leaving a trail of blood behind. But he's not done. Kaiser returns, now with another weapon, and finishes the job. The guy wakes up mid-attack and starts screaming. Each scream is silenced with more brutal stabbing. Kaiser then stomps him violently, ending his life. Panting, soaked in sweat and blood, Kaiser leans down and stares into the man's dead eyes. He whispers, "Stop screaming. Your blood tastes better in there." He walks away without flinching. Now the camera cuts to Alexis's bedroom. He's calmly lying on his bed, scrolling on his phone, completely unaware of the murder happening just outside his door. No screams, no sounds, no hint of what Kaiser just did. Then the scene changes. We're now at a familiar place, the area where Alexis and Kaiser's first fight took place. It's noon, the sun blazing high. A mysterious figure in a red hoodie enters the scene. He spots a cobra fight, hoodie lying on the ground. He picks it up, studies it for a few seconds, then drops it and walks away. We don't know who he is, but we've seen him before. He's the one who spied on Kaiser while he was training on Alexis's rooftop. His purpose remains unknown. Then we cut to morning. A wooden training pipe stands still until a sudden kick slams into it. It's Kaiser training again. He strikes the pipe again and again until he lets out a sharp scream and delivers one final, devastating kick, snapping the pipe in half. He steps back, breathing heavily, then looks up at his balcony view. For a moment, he stands still, taking in the city, the sky, and whatever thoughts are racing in his head. Then, without a word, he turns around and walks back inside. He descends the stairs and enters his bedroom. The screen fades to black. End of Season 1.